I have a special episode today dedicated to one of our really regular YouTube listeners, Stacy, who has messaged me a lot of questions in the past. And I, this whole time, have thought that I have answered her questions. Like, I've seen, Stacy, your questions come in, and I've been like, oh, well, let me answer someone else's just because I've answered Stacy's before. And then she emails me and basically points out to me that I have almost never answered her questions. And she was like, I hope one day I'll get one of my questions answered. So she was totally amazing about it. I just really thought that I had answered the questions. So let's dive in. Let's try to bust out Stacy's. I have a question all the way from April. So she goes, hey there, I'm working towards my recovery and I feel optimistic. I've gained 10 pounds. I have cervical mucus and I'm overall feeling mentally intact. Love that. Your podcasts have been helpful. Oh, good. I'm 41. I have had no period for 3.5 years and I definitely have some disordered eating. Plus I have a love for running and living an active lifestyle. I've never taken birth control aside from my early 20s and it never made me feel very well. I felt well up until the last year where I noted some health concerns. I've been in quasi-recovery until last healthcare scare in January, where I had a couple kidney stones that needed removal. I had a follow-up ultrasound and they found 4 more non-obstructing ones. I feel defeated. I followed all the diet recommendations, plus lots of H2O and still no change. No family history either. My urologist is unfamiliar and disinterested in HA and couldn't answer whether a lack of estrogen could be causing this. I'm really hopeful that my period will return spontaneously, but I'm tempted to take birth control to support my kidney health. Any insights? Bone density scans are showing the beginnings of osteoporosis. I've had cardio without this in unremarkable. My only other complaint would be my oral health. My mouth always feels dirty and I'm constantly brushing. Okay, interesting. And you're also saying that your endocrinologist ruled out everything and has landed you with HA. So the kidney stones is not something that I think is directly related to your HA, but of course, there could be plenty of factors trickling down making that happen. My one recommendation for you, if this is still something that you have a concern about, it's not even a recommendation actually, it's just like throwing out there, go research the amazing gallbladder flush. I think that's what it's called. It's a book. I've done it. You can literally do this essentially cleanse, flush, detox that will remove physical stones from your body. You go through a process of eating certain things, including like food grade Epsom salt. It softens up the stones. Of all the things that you take soften up the stones, soften up the bile ducts, and as a result, you can then flush them out once you sort of start drinking this vinegar drink. I've done it. Physical things come out of your body. So it's a possibility. But if you're not having constant buildups of that, then I don't recommend you do it till you're recovered because it does involve like some fasting and flushing. There is a fly buzzing all around us. So if that comes into the microphone or you see me swatting, that's what's going on. Okay, then Stacy emails me again later that month, I think. And she says, I have 2 questions. Again, I'm 40. Post-fertility, as thankfully I've had my children prior to HA. I've been without my period for 3.5 years. Yes. So she gave us that context. She's been all in. Her 2 questions are insights on the kidney stones. Boom, just answered it. Linked to HA, not that I really know of, but definitely linked to osteoporosis, which is her next question. Yes, osteopenia, osteoporosis. You are not producing enough estrogen and you're older now, so your bone health is going to go whoop if you don't get on top of that. Also, do any of your clients complain of the dirty mouth feeling? Okay, no, but anyone on the live stream, do you guys have like the dirty mouth feeling? Do you guys feel that? It of course wouldn't shock me for that to be related at all. I think that low estrogen is related to a lot of things. But I would have to ask so many more questions, like what kinds of things are you eating? How hydrated are you? But like trust that something's up. Something's very up with the homeostasis of your body, and this is, yes, definitely can be related to HA. Okay. Let's go again. Good afternoon. My recent blood work came back with an estrogen level of 76. Very, very low. It's in mol/L. Progesterone was 0.6. No change from the previous. Progesterone won't change until you're ovulating. I've had cervical mucus, cramping, etc. I know it's hard to say exactly, but do you think period is likely around the corner? So this was the third email within a month. So I'm gonna say like yes, the period could be trying to come at that time if you're seeing cervical mucus and you're having these cramps, but it's still possible that there's nowhere near enough energy to get you across the line to actually ovulate. So if you're seeing cervical mucus for more than 4 weeks, no change, it's not increasing, it's not changing, then you're not eating enough or resting enough or something like that. That's too long without a significant change to say, oh, I'm definitely going to ovulate at some point. Okay. Quick question. How quickly does estrogen climb or can fall in recovery? My estrogen was at 76 in April. July 2nd, it was less than 40 because I was doing a bit more running over the last 2 weeks. This was a blind spot for me. Estrogen low, FSH and LH both under 10. They're all in line with HA. She's feeling defeated. So her question is, oh my god, there's 2 flies. Her question is, how quickly can it improve? Estrogen can go from very low to normal range and have you ovulate actually very quickly in a lot of people. This isn't everyone. There are 100%, many names that come to mind when I think about, wow, estrogen's really not responding as quickly as we expect. But in our average client, right, we see a turnaround for the average client within 3 months. We see them go from abysmal no estrogen to ovulation, well and truly within 3 months often. So like significantly often, like probably 90-something% of the time. So it can go very quickly when you're giving it what it needs. And you're mentioning here, you're doing more running. I think that you probably have a lot of things that you're holding on to, Stacey. So I would definitely try to get that out. Okay, and then the last one. Good morning, quick and random question. Do HAs lose their thirst sensation? I do drink a lot of water every day. I'm the one with the kidney stones, and so I'm well hydrated. But curious, since the hypothalamus is responsible for hunger and thirst, is this a normal symptom and should I be worried? I had a recovery period in July, but I lost it again. Okay, so I'm feeling like pretty confident that your thing, Stacey, is that there's still a lot of blind spots that you don't want to change because you got the period in July, went away again, and there's uncertainty about like why and what it's all related to, and I think that's probably causing you a lot of discomfort. But I do think that most of your symptoms are going to resolve if you can stick it out, get the periods, get 3 in a row. You're going to see an improvement, and you're going to not like back out as much as you may be doing that right now. Lots of things can happen to thirst, appetite, how often you need to pee, all of these things. I haven't heard of someone losing their thirst, being like, I'm never ever thirsty. It's usually the other way around. But if you are drinking a lot of water every day, then you probably are not thirsty, right? So it's definitely an HA trait to drink tons of water every day, right? It's like you can't leave the house without a water. I'm going to put this out here. If you cannot leave the house without a water bottle, I think that's a problem, right? And I used to be there. I would be so thirsty, or even not thirsty, but just felt like I needed to be always drinking water, maybe to like suppress my appetite or whatever, or just because it's this like health strategy that gets marketed basically. Take a huge Yeti or a Stanley cup or something, fill it with water and drink all day. Go to the grocery store, you need to take your water bottle, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't need to go everywhere with a water bottle every day. You do not need to be drinking that much water, especially in winter. You don't need to be drinking that much water. Maybe if you live in Texas in the middle of August, I get that for sure. But I think you're more than capable of hydrating yourself to a point that you can go out for an hour without having your water near you. So if you're over consuming water for reasons like you just feel like you should, right? Or it's helping you not be hungry, now it's a habit. It initially was to help you lose weight or something, and now it's a habit. You can also be drinking too much water and basically could be flushing valuable minerals out of yourself. These are things that can happen. So yeah, I might just back off the water if you're drinking it, like you mentioned that you are, and hopefully that will resolve. That's what I got for you, Stacey. I hope that, it's always hard to answer questions 100% without everybody's life context and my ability to ask them questions. So if this was helpful for any of you guys, great. Stacey, thank you for patiently waiting, asking your questions, and letting me know that I never answered them. My bad. If anyone else wants their question answered on the show, you can email me, danny@thehasociety.com, or comment your question below, and I'll eventually get to it in a video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.